Hello there. I'd like to introduce you to the Christmas tree, the epitome of the season. Oh Tannenbaum, how pretty are your branches. And here's wishing you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
And without further ado, enjoy my review for Aquaman. Hello everybody, and welcome to a special Christmas movie review with the most Christmassy movie that we were able to see in the theaters.
Because it involves melted snow, apparently. Cold water.
Aquaman! Directed by James Wan and starring who?
Jason Momoa, Amber Heard, Dolph Lundgren, William Dafoe. Nicole Kidman, Patrick Wilson, right?
Patrick Wilson, yes.
Yep, and lots and lots of fish.
Lots
so
of
many
fish. And mer people and mermaids and a giant squid at one point. And overall, I enjoyed the movie. I thought it wasn't a masterpiece by any means, but you know, it was a fun night out, and compared to like a lot of the DC movies which have had a reputation of being dark and gritty and disappointing, this one, it's very colorful and vibrant and just frankly just a fun movie to just watch, and it's a very beautifully shot movie, very visually appealing, and overall just a fun night out with friends or family.
And I completely agree. I didn't go into this movie expecting it to be brilliant. I went into it expecting it to be a muscle movie with Jason Momoa, to have some beautiful computer CGI, and a tolerable story and some really fun action, and I got exactly what they promised, so I feel like it was money well spent.
Yeah. So the story of this movie, it starts out with just an average man who's a lighthouse keeper meeting a queen of an underwater city of Atlantis named Atlanta. And the two of them fall in love, and they have a son. And the son is half human and half water person.
I didn't really get that, but it's
But he's played by Jason Mamoa, and he grows up to have learned that his destiny is to save the world from his evil half-brother who wants to use the Wrath of the Seven Seas to take control of the world because he doesn't like what the surface, our world, has been doing to the sea. And in all this, he meets a princess of Atlantis
Princess Water Person.
Known as I forget her name.
Mira, played by Amber Heard.
Played by Amber Heard, and the two of them go on all these wacky adventures, and we learn a little bit about Aquaman's past throughout this. In fact, there are some of the things I think the movie did really well is how it incorporated the flashback scenes into like the main story, because a lot of the scenes take place in the same locations as where the character is in modern times, but they like managed to make it flashback for a second or two to really show his training, and it finds a way to make it work in the context of the story without distracting or ruining, I guess you could say, the action.
And I would agree with that. I'd echo it in particular because one of our favorite reviewers, Chris Stuckman, said he didn't really like the flashbacks. I can understand why other folks would find them annoying. I did not. I thought they were pretty fluid, and the flashback scenes were interesting too. Like, they were fun to watch in and of themselves. So I actually thought they were pretty well done.
Yeah. Now, through all this, there's also a pirate bounty hunter who is after Aquaman because he feels like Aquaman has wronged him.
A black manta.
And so Aquaman is sort of facing multiple opposition, and people want his head, want to gut him, if you will. And so he has to face opposition from all sides. The story itself is pretty straightforward. It's nothing to write home about, but the real fun of this movie, I think, comes with the performance of Jason Momoa as Aquaman. He's just a very fun, sort of tongue-in-cheek character to watch. You know, he doesn't take himself seriously. You know, he's just sort of a funny, nice guy who's like a little rough on the outside, but you know, still a basically like nice, funny person who, you know, you could see yourself grabbing a beer with, and in fact you can. There's actually a really funny scene in the beginning where these like biker guys that seem really like hostile at first, but then just want to like take a picture with him. And it's like really, really funny and heartfelt. And I also love the relationship with his dad too.
Yeah,
I like the sort of the familial aspect of this relationship was very, very personal.
I mean, I know that in Justice League or something, I think originally he's like a merchant marine or a fisherman, and I buy it. Like his personality just seems like a very down to earth, hardworking, tough guy with a heart of gold, and that didn't seem like a stretch. It seems like that was who he was.
Yeah. And the other actors, they're good. I thought that Amber Heard, she came off as a little too monotone. Like, I get that that's supposed to be her character, but to some extent, because she doesn't really understand the human world and human language. But for me, I just felt like a little more like vocal personality would have been good. I did, however, really think William Dafoe, for the few lines he was given, did a good job. And I bought his performance. And it's always good to like see people like Dolph Lundgren, people like me that love 80s stuff, and like we saw him in Creed 2, and seeing like these old 80s guys make a comeback, and in some cases actually have more of a character in his case than he ever did in that one movie he was in, Rocky IV. It's good to see. And
I guess I'll echo off that briefly. I thought Dolph Lundgren was perfectly cast. He was hilarious. Patrick Wilson has been getting some flack for not being an intimidating enough bad guy. I thought he was fine. I thought that he conveyed a lot of gravitas and just scariness and a lot of mommy issues, to say the least.
Yeah.
However, I will say that the actor who played Black Manta, and I can't remember his name.
Oh, he was terrific.
He was terrific. He should have been the main villain because I
yeah.
loved him on screen. The battle scenes between him and Jason Momoa were two of the best action scenes in the entire film. And it's pretty clear that they're thinking about having him as a primary villain in a second movie, which I think is good, because I wanted to see more of him as a character. Amber Heard, I agree. I thought that she was a little underdeveloped. I don't think that's her fault. I've seen her in other movies, and I know she's a really good actress. I just think that James Wan may not have been directing her in quite as the right way for her as an actress.
What Wan did do right, though, is the visuals of this movie. It is such a good-looking film to look at. And it's so colorful and vibrant, but never like in like a distracting way. Like it's very awe-inspiring seeing like these underwater cities and like all these different kinds of fish people. Like I like how there was a variety. Like not all the underwater people look the same. Like some of them, look like humans, like us. Others, look a little bit more like crab people.
Oh, I love the
some
crab
of them,
people.
For you gamers out there, my channel is mainly about games. Some of them looked a little bit like the Zoras from The Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
Like especially the green colored ones. And I just loved like just the visual aesthetic design of like the set pieces of Atlantis and all this stuff. But like even like the more practical locations I really like too, because there's variety. There's a big desert, there's a part where they're in Italy somewhere, and then there's like the part where they're by the lighthouse. So it's got some good variety too.
The variety was very good, and I like the fact that we have a lot of scenes in the water and a lot of scenes on land. We have action scenes in both settings, so there's a sense of variety in every aspect of this film, especially the action.
Yeah.
Getting to see an underwater battle and then getting to see an above water battle, and they're both very different but very cool.
Yeah.
Was pretty impressive.
One complaint I do have is some of the fight scenes underwater, as visually appealing as they are, can be a little confusing, at least for me. Maybe that's because I was tired and grouchy when I saw this movie, but there were like a few moments where like it took my brain a few seconds to really process what was going on and where all the characters were and who was fighting who and stuff. It wasn't that big of a movie, but it did bring down the experience just a little bit. Then again, I was more tired than I would have liked to be when I saw this movie, as is per usual, being a working adult man. But
I guess for criticisms for me, first of all, a lot of times the story is pretty fast-paced. I thought that the love relationship between Amber Heard and Jason Momoa was pretty forced. I will say in their defense,
sort of one-dimensional.
I believed in it more when they started admitting that they're attracted to each other. The first half, she basically just acts like she thinks he's a complete moron for really no reason other than he's just kind of a working class schmo. I'm like, yeah, I don't buy this at all. Obviously, you guys are going to be tonguing it before the end of the film. Why are we even engaging in this nonsense? Nicole Kidman, I mean, God bless her heart. I think she really tried. I think she really tried. I don't
was a little
think
off-putting.
she's too old for the part. I'm sorry to tell you this, Nicole, but yeah, it's just the case. She wasn't correctly cast. So all that said, though, those are, I think, pretty minor criticisms for just a fun movie.
Yeah. Any last thoughts?
Go see it. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's not brilliant, but it's a lot of fun.
I agree. I'd recommend seeing this movie. It's just a fun popcorn flick. See it with your friends and family. Just have fun. Don't go into it expecting a masterpiece, but just enjoy the movie, enjoy the visuals, enjoy the fight scenes, and enjoy especially Jason Momoa's performance as Aquaman. And I'm happy to give this movie a 3.75 out of 5.
That's what we're giving it.
We're giving it. So thanks for watching, and I hope you look forward to my future videos. And if I don't see you before the 25th, have a very Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Joyo Noel, Feliz Navidad, goodbye.
Welcome, punch!
Oh, these cookies! Put that cookie down! Now!